Yo, what's going on, everybody? I hope your guys' day is going well. I know things are looking bloody out there, guys, but we're going to be talking about some really crazy bullish things to hopefully uplift your spirits throughout this little bit of a downturn in the market. Before I get into everything, though, if you guys would do me a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel. The more people that see these videos within the Cosmos ecosystem, within our little space in the cryptoverse, the more exposure your bags get. So it's basically like you're helping me out and helping you out and helping everybody else at the same time. Do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you guys don't know, my name is Tank. This is the IBC Gang YouTube channel. We talk about everything that's happening within the traditional markets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, because we have to, as well as specifically, obviously, talking about our own little space within the cryptoverse, which is the Cosmos ecosystem and everything therefore within it. Today, I have some really special guests from Hydro Finance. Fellas, say what's up. You guys there? Can you hear me? Yes, no? What is going on, guys? Real quickly, before we start talking about what's happening with Hydro Finance, if you guys don't mind, let me just share with everybody my thoughts about this current downtrend right now with Bitcoin. I know a lot of people are out there on social media kind of giving their 2 cents about, whether this was a trap or whether this was this or whether this was that. I'll tell you guys right now, and I've been saying it for a long, long time, this is what it is. We've been here. We've been expecting this. If you guys have been watching this channel, you guys should have known for a long time that the 200 SMA strategy, this little white line that I'm showing you guys on the charts right here, was to be expected. Matter of fact, I've been telling you guys this is where you guys want to start DCAing, because on average, based on the 200 SMA, when price action falls below the 200 SMA, we should be seeing about 36.45% total average move down below the 200 SMA before price action starts seeing a rounding position on the charts. Now, there's multiple different ways that you can see a rounding position on the charts. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly show it to you guys with Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B is what houses the RSIs, momentum waves, yada, yada, yada. Bottoming positions, guys, look like this. They look like these valleys right down here, from the mountaintops to the valleys, like call it whatever you want, like the valley of death, whatever. It feels like death right now, I know. But that is what a bottoming position or the bottom of the pot looks like. Since nobody can actually really tell you, actually, I'll be honest with you, nobody knows the tops or the bottoms at any given time. So anybody that says, I don't care if they're rich or hard, their claim to fame is, I told you the top, I told you the bottom, whatever. You're just getting lucky, and you're just kind of like averaging wherever things are, but like nobody knows, right? But I've been telling you guys, based on this average right here, that if you guys were patient, that's where you guys should maybe start considering a DCA strategy. Now, you guys know I DCA in 4s. This is my first little filler buy. We're just underneath it. I'm waiting for much lower places on this chart to go down further and reinforce my position, my DCAing position, my long-term positions with more positions if it presents itself to me. So again, guys, make sure that you're always structuring your portfolio to have enough capital to back up your DCA plan. Always, in my humble opinion, not financial advice, the next DCA that you have should be equal or even more preferably more than what you just spent. So if you just spent 10, make sure your next buy is 20. And if that next buy goes down lower and you get a better price, make sure that's at least 40. And then and if it goes down to your fourth one, it's got to be 80, because that lowers your point of entry dramatically and your waiting time. So like, say you did it here, right? I'm trying to do this quickly because I want the guys from Hydro to be able to do their thing. But again, if you guys were DCAing and you guys were patient, you guys bought here and that wasn't the bottom, that's okay. You bought here and then you bought here, and then let's say like ultimately you ended up buying the absolute bottom because you're lucky. Now you don't have to wait very long for things to turn around for you. You're not in the suck. You're not in the pain. Things don't hurt. Like right now, things don't hurt for me. Everybody's all doom and gloom. I love it. I love buying the tears. I love buying the red. I love buying the dread. I love buying all of this stuff. When people are fearful, that's when I get happy. I always tell you guys, be the abusers in the relationship between your capital and your investments. Be in the position to take advantage of whatever you're buying so that it works out for you. You want to be the bad guy in this relationship when it comes to investing and holding and making profits. You don't want to be the one being abused. So be patient. Be kind of crazy about it. Like, feelings aside, you got to be kind of, like I said, the bad guy. But anyway, if you guys have been watching the show, I'll stop rambling. You guys should know DCA strategy. Point number 1, you guys are doing just fine. If we go down lower, let me show you real quickly here. I got some sections on the charts that I want to show you. Bitcoin, blah, blah. Okay, let's go into it, guys. This is the more immediate short term. Again, I got my long-term buys down here as well. But short term, right? We're on the daily. This is the fibs that I got. We were in this wedge pattern right here. You guys know how I measured it. I basically just take the opening of this wedge pattern. Where's my sticky to measure? And then I just measure. Like, I'm just kind of spitballing right now, so it's not going to be deadly accurate. But I measure from when we broke out of that pattern all the way down. I take my Fibonacci retracement, do it in reverse, take it from the bottom back up to where we broke. Then that gives me my fibs for the immediate short term to watch out for. And as you guys can see right here, where are we? We're just underneath the golden pocket. Where do you want to buy? On the golden pocket. That's like perfect. One thing I want to show you guys, we do have a red X, or I'm sorry, a yellow X, which usually signals maybe some kind of whale games or manipulation. I hate using the word manipulation because it's all fair. But you know, this isn't normal price action right now. We've been holding pretty steady right here on the 0.65, 618. And you know, if you guys have been patient, it's all good in the hood. We could go down to the 786. We could go down to the 1. Everything's gravy because we have capital. We've been waiting. We're taking advantage of, you know, these situations. So that's what I got right now, guys. Let's pivot, because again, I want to spend as much time as I possibly can talking to you guys about Hydro Finance. I've been telling you guys, I'm getting super bullish on the Secret Network. And I wasn't lying, guys. I'm getting super bullish about what's happening over there. And there was a reason why. And this is part of the reason. Hydro Finance is basically revamping, like putting things in hyperdrive over there with, if you've ever used Secret Swap or whatnot. But gentlemen, please introduce yourself. Let them know who you are. Let them know what you guys are working on. And I'm going to let you guys just have at it. Yeah, let us know. Let us know if you guys can hear us. I had problems. I was supposed to do this on Zoom. Meeting with too many people, guys. It screwed me all up. So I had to go back and do this the ghetto way. We're doing this the ghetto way, guys. Oh, you can. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Ooh, that's not good. All right, there we go. I can fix that. 1 second. Boom. Now they can hear you. See? Ghetto, right, guys. Told you ghetto.
And we're back.
We're back.
No, thank you so much for having us on, Tank. Love the channel. Love the advice you're giving the people. And honored to be here to represent Secret Network and Hydro. Ethan and I came up with the idea for Hydro.finance, honestly, as a means to an end for something else we want to build. And we're DeFi degens. We've been in the space for years. We've had our minds turning for years, and we finally got kind of the honor and privilege of being able to lead a team through Secret Swap, through Secret Network, and kind of put in a position to be told, like, hey, like, what do you guys want to build? What are your ideas? And we've got good ones. We've been brewing on them for quite some time, and part of the issue is we want DeFi to succeed. We want to be able to take over traditional finance. We want decentralized, censorship-resistant money, technology, you name it, and it's not set up to succeed yet. I mean, you could read our white paper. It's a little bit complicated and convoluted, but the idea is we don't want to rely on third-party businesses, which means we need AMMs. And a lot of what's been built out in DeFi requires P2P trading, P2P lending, whatever, and a lot of the tokenomics haven't really been there to sustain it. We got a lot of brilliant developers building super cool things, and either the value they create gets passed along to somebody else, or it's just not captured by their token. And so we needed to kind of relook at DeFi as a whole from an economics first perspective. And so that's really the motivation we had going through and starting Hydro Finance.
I really do like that. Now, I know some people might, listening to that might actually kind of like be taken aback a little bit when you said that we're not there just yet with DeFi. Again, I know you just explained that, but again, if you guys aren't really following, and because I agree, I really actually, I'm a super, you guys know, you guys have been following, I'm super degen. I'm conservative degen, but I'm all over this space. But I gotta agree, like right now, the way that our DeFi is set up, it's really, 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 it's really I want to say locked down in, as far as its scaling capabilities based on the way that the model is presented to the people. And is that what you're kind of trying to say?
Yeah, so I mean, like you've been doing a great service to your community by giving them honest feedback from TA, by telling people we were in a bear market a month ago and telling them like prices are probably going to go down, and that sucks, and it's harder to get clicks that way. Everyone wants pumponomics, like, hey, your bag's going to the moon, why this is going to 10x, but somebody has to be a realist. And I mean, we saw what just happened with Terra Luna, and it sucks, and a lot of people were hurt, and we need to be protected from things that are unsustainable. I argue for Secret Network for a long time. It's like Ethereum makes so much new stuff possible. Secret Network will make it practical. Likewise, from an economic perspective, a lot of things that DeFi is showing are possible don't make sense in the current iterations. And we're trying to better it so that DeFi can advance and can succeed, and not everything falls through this crash. I mean, a lot of people agree that 95% of crypto projects won't succeed. Well, now we know what a blue chip failure catastrophe looks like, and it sucks. And as more of those happen, it's going to scare a lot of people. If this is similar to the dot-com bubble, which I've theorized is the case for a long time, I don't want to be one of the pet.com or pets.com, I don't know, trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist in a way that doesn't make sense. I want to be the Google or the Amazon that comes out on the other side, because we were built to succeed during that.
Right. I don't know if, guys, I'm pretty old. I'm much older than most people, actually. But I don't know if you guys were around for all of that, but I remember that. It's funny that you bring that up because they were everywhere. What was it? Pets.com? Gosh, it's been so long. They were supposed to be the new hottest thing. I mean, and it just, and you talk about a crash. It just fell from grace and it was ugly. But no, I absolutely agree. So tell us, with that, what were, because I know you guys basically, if you guys don't know in what's up, Rama, if you guys don't know in chat, basically what they're talking about, and I know a lot of from doing my homework, it came from realizing not only things like osmosis and whatnot, but it really came from noticing the problems that Secret Swap had, correct? And trying to fix that. Am I correct about that? Or
so, yeah, definitely. So things were on a much more expedited schedule with the token model that Secret Swap had. So it had a 1 billion supply spread out over 4 years, and Secret hasn't had traditionally like an insane amount of liquidity. So it hit us a lot sooner with the market conditions that are going on. We're feeling it way earlier than a lot of other people would. So we really started to take a look at this and the writing on the wall, back, almost a year ago at this point. Even we were just looking at, the market and kind of what was happening overall with AMMs and the way things are working and the way these models have been done. And we're just watching DeFi. We're just watching this game of hot potato. Here's this farm. It's awesome. It's amazing. We've got these great APRs. And then, a couple months later, the whole thing is done. And, whether it got hacked or rugged or whatever, there's just this ongoing game of chasing the APRs all over Hell's Half Acre. And it was like, well, why can't we do this sustainably? And it all comes down to the economics. We can do it sustainably, and we have.
Okay. Well, because I've been actually, it's funny you said it, because I've been saying that for a while. Like, what we have is just it's a catch game of like chasing APRs. If, some of these aren't doing so great right now, but like, if Shift was doing great at that time, which for a quick minute, they were doing great with their changes, people ran over there to, get into pools and chase APRs. The minute those APRs came down, they were running for something else like osmosis, or, they were going to some Juno swap or whatever it is currently. And, it's, again, not sustainable. So tell me, how are you guys approaching it? What's going to make Hydro Finance different?
So we want AMMs to succeed, and I was actually teaching a master's course on tokenomics for a while, and I was walking these students through game theory, and I had like a 5-step process. Like, you have to come up with a problem, you have to figure out like your best possible solution to that problem, align incentives. Most importantly, that most people mess up on, step 4, is you break it from any way possible, knowing that it's not always in everybody's best interest to do what you think is in their best interests. It's in somebody's best interest to break you, and then you continue and adapt the model based on how successful you're able to break it. So our problem was AMMs aren't sustainable. These inflationary tokens, like having something that needs a high token valuation with no revenue and no means of getting revenue, doesn't make any sense. Like, it's always propped up on the back of whoever's willing to provide liquidity against it. And so we were like, okay, how do we build an AMM with revenue? And the easiest way to do it is with staking derivatives. So we're seeing lots of new staking derivatives protocols come out. Persistence is doing cool things, but most staking derivatives are doing auto compounding, which I mean is cool, but it means that like the platform itself isn't really getting any of the revenue unless you like add a small fee on it or something. But
Right.
we like most AMMs aren't using these staking derivative protocols, they're using just the regular liquid assets. So we're like, what if instead of being a staking protocol that you can also change, like we actually do it properly? Because if you're not auto compounding the derivative, where really it's not that you're keeping your rewards, but you're liquidity providing with an asset that is gaining in value, like impermanent loss isn't just like possible, it's like mandatory. Arbitrage between that and the native asset is incredibly inefficient. Where like if you were properly keeping your rewards from these staking derivatives, then once you lock this up in a liquidity pool, then technically you only have the LP token, and it's actually the liquidity pool that is earning these staking rewards. And we can then aggregate those rewards and hold them to the DAO to give value to the token. And then we're like, to make it safer, we're just going to automatically do it. Say our staking derivatives only really make sense if we're using our platform. They go directly to the DAO, use our bulk distributors, but it sets it up in a way that we are a regular AMM that is also earning staking rewards from all the layer ones we support, and use that to give value to the token. Whether it's governance power, because now you can stake Dro and be able to vote in Atom, vote in Secret, vote in Juno with privacy, or whether it's literally stake Dro to earn Atom, stake Dro to earn Secret, because we can give these rewards back in dividends.
Awesome. Also, so okay, excuse me. I mean, we're talking about Dro, and if you guys can see here, I know I'm just staring, listening. If you guys can see down here, they have the Dro DAO link on their Twitter. Again, guys, if you guys haven't followed them on Twitter, definitely do so. Let me actually drop this one more time for you guys in the chat. Do yourself a favor, and everybody else, follow them, read their white paper, and see what they're talking about. And kind of, it's a lot easier when you can actually like physically see it and listen to what they're saying as well. Tell us more about your DAO, and tell us more about how, Dro and everything, and the tokenomics behind it, all the structure is going to be laid out. Matter of fact, when I was going down here, there's an airdrop, right? Or how you get Dro, or how can you?
Yeah, so we do have an upcoming airdrop. You can stake Secret to participate in the airdrop, and you can also stake Atom to participate in the airdrop. We'll be dropping to Atom as well. Those are two options you have if you want to get in on the airdrop. And also, we do have a hydro.finance node on Secret that if you delegate to, you will get a bonus. So be sure to delegate to us if you want to get a little extra.
Now, was there, this could have been a little dated, and I know a lot of things have changed. There was something where if you were on Secret Swap in one of their pools, wasn't there like something going on, or did that change with everything that was happening just recently?
Yeah, so there will be a migration from Secret Swap when Hydro Finance goes live. This will pretty much be the prime AMM on Secret Network.
Okay.
So when that occurs, there will be a migration for the CeFi holders. But at this time, there isn't a Dro disbursement to the Infinity Pool.
Okay.
But there will be a migration with the Infinity Pool in the future.
Okay, then I gotta ask, obviously, like, to be very transparent and all that stuff. And I know a lot of different projects and devs, and there was a lot of scrambling that just recently happened. You guys originally had Luna and those people in mind with your guys' project. How has what happened recently affected your guys' development, or have you guys ran into really humongous problems because of that, if you don't mind me asking? Or
Well, we're in the middle of a private raise, and thankfully we hadn't actually taken anything in UST, so we lucked out. A lot of people that are also in our position didn't find themselves so lucky. So we definitely feel for those people.
That's why I was asking. I didn't mean to be too forward, but that's why I was asking. I've heard
Yeah, we lucked out. We lucked out, definitely. But there's a lot of people that didn't, and I'm praying for them.
Yeah, it was. Whew. It was rough.
Yeah, but as far as development goes, Hydro is, we're stable agnostic. What we create with the Oxy pools with literal slippage free one-to-one trades with multiple assets supported. Like, think of Curve on steroids. Like, you can have USDC, USDT, DAI, like all of multiple different stables on multiple chains, all with privacy, be tradable exactly at a one-to-one rate. And so, I mean, UST made sense. Like, we could have them see our liquidity, but even if we were live when that went down, people are like, oh man, that would have destroyed you. Actually, it wouldn't have. Like, if anything, it might, like, the DAO would have earned more USDC and USDT from the DPEG with the way the Oxy pools are set up. So, I mean, our protocol is fine. We're not hurt in any way. We're, like, really sorry to all those who are hurt. But we're just moving forward to whatever stablecoin the community deems that they want to use. And
if you don't mind me asking, with the, I feel like, especially, you know, in the Cosmos ecosystem right now, there is, you know, there's the hustle, and it's pretty much not just the Cosmos ecosystem. It's, you know, every you know, cousin and fence in the next neighbor's yard and whatnot. That's all kind of hustling for this next stable in DeFi that, you know, it's not a USDC and all this stuff, but, you know, we have them come in Cosmos ecosystem, whatnot. If I'm not being too forward, and if you guys don't mind me asking, what developments have you been seeing from other teams that you guys are getting bullish on or hopeful for your project to, you know, to maybe bring onto your guys' platform? I know Comdex, you know, they're working on some crazy things and they have a stable token. I'm actually going to have them tomorrow on the show, you know, talking about what they're working on as well. But, you know, I know you guys are, obviously every dev is out there keeping a close eye on what everybody else is doing. Is there other things that are out there right now that, you know, you find fascinating and also you find hopeful to maybe be beneficial for your platform, for Hydro, and then also give us a benefit that's, you know, in the ecosystems that are, you know, going to be using your guys' platform?
Yeah. So excellent question. Quick shill. I also run the Secret Code podcast. I recently made a video breaking down the Terra Luna model and kind of what went down there. I don't think algorithmic stablecoins in general are dead, but obviously much higher and actual collateralization needs to take place. Comdex's is very interesting. I think that the overall next wave of stablecoins will be over collateralized algorithmically, so kind of a mix with over collateralization and algorithmic, in a way set to be a supply sink for layer 1 tokens. So whenever you're using over collateralization, it is an incredibly inefficient use of funds, but that might not necessarily be a bad thing, especially where in the Cosmos, where everything is inflationary. We want demand to go up higher than inflation does in order for the price to keep going up. And so if we could do something where we're locking up large amounts of the supply and of the inflation in order to generate some stable coin as like a debt against it, then that could be worthwhile for the layer 1s. So Comdex's is interesting. I know Agoric's coming out with something. We're keeping our ear to the ground. We're watching what they do. I'm sure more teams are going to come up with cool stuff. And whatever the community thinks they like the best, we'll be happy to support Hydro. And we'd love whoever's going to come and bring us liquidity. That being said,
obviously,
I'm very skeptical. Yeah, I'm skeptical of whatever scales too quickly.
Right. I like that you said that. I really, for me as an investor, a long-term investor, not just crypto and whatnot, anytime you see something, you know, I always talk about angles, especially on the charts. When you see things move at an angle, you know, we're here, and I hate to say this with Secret, but when you see these really, you know, straight up parabolic angles, like they're not sustainable, obviously, that, you know, not just because of the angle, but obviously this was other things. But usually when you see things scale in this kind of way, you know, there's a reason why we say things pump and they also dump. The market moves up and down, it ebbs and flows. So when I see things move at like UST did with Terra, and it would just, you know, that's actually, do I even still have this chart up here? Not to keep picking on, because, you know, we all went through it though, but it had me really, really nervous. Even, I don't even think this is the right chart. It had me nervous even back then when I saw the, you know, just the hype, the mania, and everything just get adopted so quickly and move, because that doesn't give the teams, in my opinion, and you would probably know this, enough time to not only prepare for any onslaught of attacks or problems or issues that might happen, but, you know, if it's just a failure happens, there, like you can't fix as fast as that scale happens. So yeah, I like that you said that. Like, I'm always very, very conservative when I'm looking at charts and investments and stuff like that. So I'd like to see something come on into our ecosystem, obviously onto Hydro as well. That's you know, a lot more maintainable. I say this all the time as well. Sustainable, realistic, and manageable. That's you know, what I would like to see, and what I would like to see liquidity come from. My chart's all over the place, but yeah, I really like that you said that. Going back and kind of doubling back, because I don't think I asked this question, do we have a timeline for airdrops, and also for the airdrops. I know in previous posts you said that amounts weren't specified just yet. Do we have any other information as of now that maybe you could provide to people?
So at this point in time, we're not disclosing like the minimum, for instance, because we don't want people gaming the airdrop. We want people who are actually interested in participating in DeFi and the Secret ecosystem to get Dro. We really want people to come into Secret and check things out and check out the technology being built on Secret as a layer one. We think that's kind of a good way to do things for the most part. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a bunch of people making 100 different wallets, you know.
And I agree. That's why I wanted to ask.
Itself. And it's better just to not disclose that information. We are having an airdrop, and the snapshot has not taken place yet. We'll announce when the snapshot has occurred, but we will not tell you exactly when it will be. I can tell you it will be soon.
Okay. That's good enough for me. I was like, soon or later?
Yep, it will be soon. I can't give you exact dates or anything like that, but yeah.
Awesome. I know. Again, not financial advice team. You know, you guys got to do you. You guys do what you guys need to do. Personally, after doing some research, and again, I invite you guys. You know, I'm just here to point out the busyness, the development, the teams that are actually working on stuff that may possibly, I say this all the time, change the way that we do things within our space and even beyond. And that's kind of what I really see happening with, that's what I see happening with Hydro and Hydro Finance, and especially what's happening over there in the Secret ecosystem. I kind of, I got to stop. I really hate saying, like, because before we used to say, the Cosmos ecosystem, Terra ecosystem, Secret we're all in the same universe. I just hate always that division, but I guess there's no other way around it anyway.
We're all IBC gang, man.
Yeah.
IBC gang.
Yeah.
Secret is IBC gang. We're all IBC gang.
I want to get to a point where we can just be like in our ecosystem. But anyway, but that's what I see. That's an honest opinion, guys. I really do see that development and that focus happening on Hydro Finance. I'm not just saying that because the guys are here. They're here because, I was seeing it happen beforehand. They're here because they're working their butts off. And you guys know, I say it all the time. I'm not going to bring crappy projects. I'm just not going to be bought out. I'm not going to bring crappy projects on. I'm just, anything that gives me the hibby-jibbies or like the cooties that I don't want, I'm not bringing them on here. But I really do see a lot of great things coming from this team. I personally moved some capital, bought some just recently. Matter of fact, I'm going to buy some more here in a little bit. Maybe take a look right here at my levels. I'm going to buy some more Secret right here. And admittingly, you guys got to do you, but I will be, supporting their validator and throwing some more validation their way. Just because I like what they're doing. I like what they're trying to accomplish. And I do think that if they can, launch, and I gotta be real, but I know you guys are here, with as little to or minimal bumps as possible, and we get through what we're going through right now with this downward momentum, it could be a game changer. It really could be a game changer on the way that we look at AMMs, the way that we look at DeFi. So, I again, not financial advice, but I'm telling you guys right now, I moved some things around. I bought some. I moved some capital, and I definitely, have staked with them. You guys do you, though. You guys do you. Is there anything else that you guys would like to talk about as far as with Hydro, with also things that you guys are maybe seeing in the Secret ecosystem, or that maybe even expanded beyond that in our ecosystem?
I touched on Secret Network, kind of taking what Ethereum makes possible, making it practical. The reason I found Secret is I want whatever the global industry is going to use from Web3, and I think that Secret Network's still, after 2 years, the only private by default smart contract platform. And I'm like, look, companies will use lending protocols when their data is private. Companies will use data storage when their data is private. And so I'm bullish on any DeFi that gets built out on Secret Network specifically. I'm bullish on all of IBC, because as we enable interblockchain calls, things built on Juno, things built on any other CosmWasm protocol will be able to use the privacy preserving traits of Secret for what needs to be secret. Mm-hmm. But you touched on how Hydro can make people rethink the way AMMs work. Our whole thesis is that AMMs are goods and services, and we really, really want to play into that fact. And we're going to provide all kinds of services that haven't necessarily been associated with AMMs before. We announced last week that we acquired CryptoClerk, and that with our viewing key, like not only do you have your data private and everything's front running resistant, but now you're also going to have your tax information directly in one place. So now institutional parties who have been interested in DeFi, like now they can keep their privacy. They can have the lowest in the industry trading fees. They can still maintain regulatory compliance, which has held back a lot of liquidity from Secret Network to this point. And really the only thing holding back institutional play in DeFi is liquidity, and we'll be building that quickly. Yeah. And then another thing that's really interesting to what you're doing with IBC Gang is, like, why should we have another silo, another tribalistic community when like that's what we see in crypto? Even the IBC Gang, even like all of the Cosmos, there's so much infighting. It's silly. We should be growing the pie instead of like bickering and fighting with each other. Yeah. And so as like Alter is trying to bring private communication to every protocol, we just want to bring sustainable liquidity in AMMs and any services we can provide to everybody else. And we want to facilitate a full Cosmos ecosystem community instead of just like AMM maxis. Like an AMM maxi doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
like,
I was going to say
that. We're only as strong as the protocols we support.
Yep. Yeah, it always confused me, but I'm sure you guys do as well. I get messages all the time, and people just coming at me with pitchforks and torches and stuff like that. Like, oh no, I had somebody tell me about osmosis and some other Swap and all this other. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, are you? I don't want to get into that, but it just always confused me about like AMM maxis. I'm going, that doesn't even it doesn't make sense. Like, anyway,
you could trade so hard on our platform.
Yeah. No, but I really like you guys. Let me actually take a second. And try to go back and see. Chat, did you guys have anything that you guys wanted to ask? Or, I might actually, for the few that are up here or that are in our Discord, if you guys have any questions at all, actually, let's take this full ghetto style and just make this an open. Again, please be respectful. We're on YouTube. If you guys have any questions at all, you guys are part of the Discord, feel free to come jump up here. If you guys have time and ask a couple of questions. I don't know if the guys have some time to answer some questions, but.
Well, we got time.
All right.
All the time for you, Tank.
Awesome. Yeah, let me see. I'm trying to go back up here. It's always a little bit delayed to see if I can't find some questions up here. But yeah, if you guys want to join, feel free to jump up here and ask away, guys, because I'm impatient. I'm really patient with a lot of things, but like with really bullish developments and projects, I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm like, come on, just give us a little bit more to nibble on, give us a crumb or something to kind of look forward to. But I'm really loving what I'm hearing coming from your guys' team and what you guys are working on. Let me see here. That's one thing I like about Demx. They're taking my
we should be launching the full product in Q3, and we should have some parts of it hopefully coming out sooner.
I got him to say something, guys. Q3. All right. Crypto, it ages you. I didn't have this much white hair. This past year has definitely put on more white hairs. I feel like a couple of months definitely feel like a couple of years in the crypto space, but Q3 is right around the corner. I do want to tell you guys, again, while we have a little bit of time, if somebody wants to jump in here as well, I do want to just give you guys my thoughts about, what we're going through, especially with Secret, Atom, and our respective little ecosystems, as you call it. I'm going to try not to say that. I'm going to figure out a way to just call it what it is, and a family of us. Really, in about a year and a half, I really do think about a year and a half, what is it, a year and 7 months or whatever the actual Bitcoin halving is, all of this bickering and fighting and fear that we have right now in the market and positionings as far as like the price of your assets, you guys won't even think about it anymore. If you guys are still around, you guys have been patient, you guys have been listening to like the gang here with Hydro and these other projects that are just working away. If you guys haven't noticed, that's when these teams are like really just get to the grind and start working on what they need to work on, because I think every dev manager or project worker has all said the bear market is the best time to build, because you can just stay laser focused on building your project or protocol. But I just want to kind of show you guys, this is a secret chart right here. Now, again, this is more immediate. We're on the daily time frame, guys. Same thing, right? I just took the opening right here, measured from the breakdown. We're not even going to get down to the 0.382. Like, Secret is holding up really, really freaking well, to be honest with you guys. I'm really loving what I'm seeing coming out of the secret chart. And like, I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to make the parallels between the two, but I used to, well, frick, I said it already, so I might as well. I used to say it all the time, like, you never thought like there was a good place to buy Luna when Luna was pumping, right? I'm not jinxing, knock on wood, I'm not going to jinx this chart, but really I kind of feel the same thing with Secret, especially at the price point that it's at right now. Like, if you just kind of zoom out and then you look at what's happening with not just Hydro, but with everybody, right? And what Secret just did with their shockwave and all this stuff, I'm like just getting more and more bullish about the possibilities and the potential that the Secret Network has long term. Like, I think you nailed it. Like, once these institutions and companies, and like I said, I own businesses and stuff like that, but once I know and see that I can realistically, safely, and cost efficiently store information, whether it be medical files, whether it be whatever it is, whatever it needs to be, enabled privacy on, like, they're going to come flooding in. They really are going to come flooding in. And I just think the Secret Network's just in a great position right now on the charts. Now, again, it might sound crazy because some people are like, we're in a bear market tank. What are you talking about? Again, you guys got to switch your mind. Like, you got to switch your way of thinking and really think with a different investor hat on. So again, I just really like what I'm seeing right now. Let me see. Secret is the new stable. Yeah, I agree. Secret is the new stable. What's up, Cryptocam? Triple Moon.
Bud, sir.
Sounds like you're talking about Jackal. Yeah, Roman's not stable. Well, I tell you guys what. Unless you guys have, I guess nobody's wanting to come up here. You guys are all gun shy, or trigger shy.
Looks like Kem had a question in the chat.
What you got?
Yeah, what allows the Oxy pools to trade 1-to-1 without slippage?
Oh, there you go.
You gonna take that, Eric?
Yeah. So yeah, we fielded. We were in some chats with Terra technical people as well as we were building this out, and they were like, "Hey, like, that doesn't make sense. If there's no slippage, it's not a liquidity pool." It's like, yeah, well, it's different. This is not another AMM like other ones have come in Secret Network. Oh, well, we could build an AMM faster. Yeah, anyone can fork anything that existed. We are building something genuinely, completely new from the ground up. Fully rewritten, nothing's copied. And part of it is these Oxy pools that literally force things 1-to-1. So if you put Secret and Atom and an Oxy pool together, they will trade 1-to-1, regardless of what the price is otherwise. And so instead of having this this slippage where, like, curve pools, it's less slippage while the prices are close, but then drastically more slippage as the prices are further away from their derivated X times Y equals K model. What we are doing is literally forcing the 1-to-1 trade, but then having exponentially rotating trade fees. So they average out to 0.055%. They go as low as 0.03%, but as high as 100% when the pool is fully depleted on the other side. And 100% of that trade fee remains in the protocol as protocol-owned liquidity. So as you, like, it's usually incredibly low. It has to get more than 80-20% before it's even as high as like a regular AMM trade. And you're also reimbursed through Hydrate, our trade volume incentive, which literally incentivizes and makes it profitable to arbitrage and balance these pools, which will also be running, and other interested parties are running arbitrage bots. But it forces 1-to-1 trades. Instead of slippage, you have a scaling trade fee, remains in protocol and liquidity in the side the fee comes from, which means when the fee is high, as you're hurting and depleting the pool to make sure it can't be fully deprecated, then the protocol is actually getting the more needed asset. So that's why in the instance of like UST losing its peg, whereas like on Curve you're trading like, say, 1 UST for 60 cents worth of USDT, that would eventually happen on Hydro as well. It would have taken much more time, but then it means that that other 40% of USDT was going directly to the protocol, to the DAO holders.
Nice. Ooh. Guys, what else for you guys that are OGs, have been in the IBC Gang YouTube channel? Remember I told you guys, like, I'm gonna bring so much liquidity to Hydro. I'm telling you guys right now, that sounds beautiful to me. I like it. I absolutely like it.
Yeah. And so while we are at DEX and anyone can make their own pools, we're not gonna let anybody else make their own Oxy pools, because then they could like force, like, people are like, hey, like, use Silk, and Shade's building Silk, which is really cool, but it's a stable coin not pegged to $1. If we put that in there, it would trade at 1-to-1 ratio with USDT, which would make the DAO money, but like obviously would be terrible for them. So we're restricting the use of the Oxy pools, but anybody can make their own Hydro pool. And I mean, we offer a good service. Even if they make their own pool, then they can use our service. They can incentivize it themselves. They can host their own liquidity for their project, even if they don't do whatever it takes to get an incentivized pairing. And since 100% of the trade fees go to the protocol, we still capture value from anybody else who uses our platform without necessarily going through us. So if you launch a random product and you have your random token and you need liquidity, you can host liquidity yourself, but we are going to get those trading fees, and it's going to go to buying back and burning the DRO token. So you guys using the service that we provide, where liquidity is elsewhere in here, we can add you guys to the router, but we're still going to profit. Yeah,
no, that makes it. I don't know if it's hard to follow, but as a business owner, like that, kind of going back to Kim. And by the way, I got to shout out to Cryptoquant. Like honestly, I think. I really do think Hydro was actually put on my radar. It was either by Grits or Kim here, like last month or so or something like that. So shout out to you. You have been saying that for a while. It was either you or Grits. I don't know which one it was, but shout outs to both of you guys. I'll just give you guys both credits. But yeah. Man, I love it. Let's see. We got any other questions at all? And again, guys, I did link the Discord link in the chat. If you guys want to pop up in here or have a quick second, feel free. Just please be respectful. I'll just boot you real quickly if you say some crazy stuff. As people get crazy. I was on Spaces with Timmy last night, and just people, there was a gentleman just popped in to say all kinds of crazy things. I was like, what the crazy people? Let's see here. But yeah, we'll give it another 5 minutes, and if we don't see more questions or if nobody pops up, we'll kind of wrap it up here. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it, guys. And again, there's still time, as they said. You guys can get in there, do what you guys need to do. Again, not financial advice, but if you guys find this at all interesting, if you guys are bullish on what they're working on, and you guys are bullish on the Secret Network and their whole ecosystem and what they're trying to do, there is still time. You guys can get in there. You guys can stake with them. You guys can be in positions to be eligible for their drop. I'm still, I got time to add, so I'm going to be adding more. Again, you guys got to do you though. But yeah, Discord blocked over what? Hey, don't be using Discord while you're at work. Don't get fired while you're at work either. You better go back to work.
We just got a great question from Name asking for what the total supply of Hydro is. That is a fantastic question. Total supplies don't make sense for AMM tokens. So, I mean, what's happening with CeFi right now, like people are like, we're part of the reason we have to build this out is we're at the inevitable end of governance tokens sooner than most others are. People used to ask us, hey, how come the APRs are higher on Osmosis than they are on SecretSwap? Because the price of Osmo is higher. Like, that's it. Oh, well, then why don't you make people buy the token? It's like, we'd love to. Nobody wants to. It doesn't make sense. AMM governance tokens are only as strong as the people willing to hold the price up. So Hydro does not have a total supply, which we believe works as a full-on like a shelf life. But what it does have is an eventuality where we don't rely on it. So like Osmo has their first third name coming June 18th, and it means the APRs go down by 33%. And then people are like, oh, well, what happens next year? Your APRs will go down by another 33%. Doesn't it mean the price goes up? Why? Once you acknowledge less selling pressure, you acknowledge that the token's entire existence is as selling pressure. And so, that's not a bad thing. They have, they might enable Cosmosm. They're going to find other things to do. Osmo is a brilliant project, and we need it to scale all of Cosmos. We won't be ready to compete with Osmosis like day one, but what we are building is something that will scale and survive the test of time and relinquish ourselves from this responsibility of not only retaining liquidity now, but retaining liquidity for forever. So we will have a set inflation rate. We'll combat inflation with deflationary pressure. But what we can do is eventually turn it off. When we have hundreds of millions of dollars of protocol and liquidity, which will take several years, we can just go to governance, turn inflation off. We still have codified buyback and burn pressure. The token turns fully deflationary. You can still stake the token to earn the layer 1 assets. You still have growing and growing governance power in these layer 1 assets. The liquidity is still building upon itself, and you're just holding this fund that keeps growing in all these Cosmos ecosystems without any new selling pressure coming. So
yeah, and without having to force out. I like what you're saying now, because I really like people that watch my show know that I'm super bullish on Osmosis and Osmo. I really like the team, and what they're working on. Again, I've always said it. You look at the teams and how busy they are and what they're actually working on, and you guys kind of got to judge here, what you're going to do by that. But I think you nailed it when you said, what Osmo has to do is keep either introducing new features, new functions to bring value back to the Osmo token, because just because, the throwing happens or the scarcity or it gets harder to come by doesn't necessarily mean the value goes up. I know I got to double check because I really like what you just said there. I got to actually double back on what I've said before, because I've said before, usually, traditionally when things get more scarce, that technically means that it usually means the value of that scarce asset, it goes up, but not necessarily in DeFi, especially not with governance tokens. And like you said, with like Osmosis, they're, of course, they, like you said, bring on Wasm, which I think they are working on right now. Haven't they? Forgive me, there's so much stuff. I'm pretty sure they're like in the mix of just bringing that to the product. Anyway, but again, like they have to bring different arms to the Osmosis platform to keep bringing value consistently over time to their governance token or to the Osmo token, reward token, whatever you want to call it. What you guys are doing, you're basically saying we want to like just do away with that and bring value for it is at the forefront and not have to deal with that later, right?
It's so much harder to bring value to a project afterwards when it wasn't thought about from the beginning. Because if Osmo does figure out what to do, and if they, like, say they do try to do what we do, why would they do it to their own token and reward all the people who already have it instead of just launching a new token and starting from fresh without all of this, like having to carry all this extra baggage?
Right.
And yeah, it's difficult. It's frustrating. But we have to move forward. I'm actually co-authoring right now a paper called "Tokens as the New Stocks," and we're gonna like itemize like. A lot of people don't understand the difference between tokens and stocks and how it's not equity, or they think it's the same thing. Like I would buy stock in the Ripple company, but I wouldn't buy the XRP token because I don't think it adequately captures the value of what they create. And tokens can make the stock model far more efficient if done properly, and that model hasn't existed yet. What we're doing with Hydro is the closest to it and makes more sense for an AMM, but we will in the paper itemize how it should work with using inflation to cover the operational expenses, which allow you to sell whatever product or service you're offering at whatever price you need to, but then using that revenue to justify and counteract the inflation as buyback and burn pressure. And by setting this up, you're like, not only is the price of your token far more correlated with the success of your business than is stock, which is fully speculative, even if they don't argue that it is. But then it allows you to outprice your competition and allows markets to grow far, far more efficiently. And that's what I'd like to go to. And it's tough for Cosmos because we have the inflation and things aren't set up with that deflationary pressure. And that's why we need things like over-collateralized stables that work as supply sinks for tokens. And we need to figure out ways to to use and burn the token. Like Ethereum's done a great job with their NFT burn and usage. But fabricated scarcity in the means of thirdnings and weird token supplies, or like more and more NFT projects with lower supplies. Like you're still creating value out of nothing. Money has to come from somewhere. Collateral has to come from somewhere, and you have to be able to track it. We need to move past speculation.
That's true. I like it. I like that mindset. I like that way of thinking. It really, as I'm sitting here listening to you, it's everywhere now too, isn't it? It's basically everybody that's working on an AMM or has an AMM or is trying to assess how their AMM works or their DEX works. It basically is all modeled after that. I mean, I don't want to full transparency. I'll just hey, it is what it is, guys. But like, you look at Sif Chain and the problems that they're having with now. They're trying to reinvent their whole position in the space, and it's kind of like you said, like it's much harder to do after the fact. It's being an afterthought.
Absolutely. And there's so much of a circulating supply, and you've been printing rewards for so long at such a high APR. Like there's just so much of this asset swimming around,
Yeah.
And there has to be something in there that, like Eric was talking about, somebody has to hold up the price of the token. And I would much rather it be the protocol codified than expecting someone to do that.
Well, it needs to be, right? It needs to be in order to survive. In all honesty, and I little on me. I don't know the technical. You guys are much. This goes way over my head, a lot of things. But I can just, as a user, as an investor, it needs to. Like, in all fairness, all of these AMMs need to start thinking this way, especially after hearing you guys describe it in the way that you guys did, or else it's not going to be sustainable for the long future. I mean, you might be able to revamp things, reintroduce things, bring new arms or legs to your platform that for a year, maybe whatever the incentive that you can bring with that new feature allows you to do with your tokenomic structure. But inevitably that fades as well, because it's not, the real value isn't from the coding, like you said. It's from all these outside speculative things that you try to bring in after the fact. So it's a really interesting, again, guys, everybody in chat, like, it makes you think, right? And that's the developers and the protocols and the projects that make you think. Maybe it's just me. Maybe maybe you guys don't think like that. But the things that make me think like I'm thinking right now are the things that I really find intriguing and more likely want to dump a bunch of money into, like, to be honest with you.
And so there is hope. I mean, like I said, it seems kind of like a doom and gloom message that, like, oh, all these things are not sustainable and blah, blah, blah. We get a lot of bad rap for being doom and gloom. But realistically, I think a lot of things are going to change from this. And I think we're going to see a lot of really cool innovation and a lot of really cool technologies. Shout out to Kelipar. They actually had us on yesterday. That's an NFT project in the Cosmos that was inspired to add revenue streams from our project. Like, they came across our project and did a deep dive into it. And we're like, oh my God, holy cow, look at everything that's possible, So, like, I think a lot of stuff is going to come out of this, and I think things are going to change. It's just the way this space works, right?
Yeah. Well, that's that is innovation. It's you don't proceed forward and make actual progress without friction, without running into problems and then figuring out from those problems or situations, whether they were planned or or whatnot. You don't proceed forward in a progressive way without those kind of issues. So, like, I honestly respect it. I love the fact that you guys are addressing the real problems that we're having. And I've always said, for mass adoption to actually take place for the crypto space, not just for your project, but for the entirety of the crypto space, we really need to actually start working on, real problems, like real, not just our little circle that we're in and stuff like that, and say, oh, we're just gonna, have fun here, but when this is over, we're just gonna do it again. So, like, let's actually try to really reinvent the space and address the real issues that we have with growth and scaling. And if DeFi is going to scale and become mainstream, and if, like, truly, I know, some people have their opinions. If we're going to bring it to the people and let them see the light of, hey, traditional centralized banks and finance and all that stuff, like, I have a saying where you were invited to this party, but you were never expected to, dance on the dance floor, eat at the dinner table, or what. You're just there to fill the room for these centralized entities and whatnot. But, like, if we're really trying to not reinvent, or if we're really trying to show the people the value that DeFi has, some of these projects like Hydro has, the possibilities that it has, and the freedom that it allows you to have as well. Like, we need to really address these doom and gloom situations that people, as people would say, the things that are hard topics. So I applaud you guys for doing that, and just, making it a topic to bring up, because we need to. Like, we can't just keep riding this, like, what is it, a merry-go-round? You can't just keep going around in circles, not addressing the real issues that we have in the space for growth and scalability. So I'm all for it. I like it. I like that you guys are taking the brunt of it. You guys are pushing forward. You guys are, it might take a little bit more time, obviously, because you guys are doing it the right way. But I really do think it's more scalable, more maintainable, and more realistic for your platform and others that might be taking notes from it, or maybe hearing this stream or hearing your guys' spaces that you guys have been on and stuff like that. Like, I really do think they need to do this. Like, all AMMs need to do this.
Yeah. Thank you, Tank. Appreciate that. And now that we will have the very needed sustainable building block of a strong AMM that won't die from big things getting built out, we'll be able to see integrations of DAOs and companies working as DAOs, or liquidity on the back end of Web2 companies, in ways that DeFi has never conceived, thought, experienced before. because they would break anything that currently exists. And with solid building blocks, we can build things huge.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I'm sorry, guys. I was kind of going on a tangent there. Did I miss any further questions at all or anything at all? I'm going to link one more time, guys, their Twitter handle here. Definitely, again, do yourself a favor. Do everybody a favor. Share it, like it, follow them, see what it's all about, guys. You guys don't want to miss it. You guys still have a chance to be some of the very first early people within this space to be on the platform that is going to be, hopefully, in my mind, again, changing the game of how we look at DeFi and whatnot. So definitely, guys, do them a big solid. Do me a solid. Follow them on Twitter. Check them out. Join their Discord as well. That's basically all I got, though, guys. Did you guys have anything else that you guys want to add before we wrap this up?
No, dude, thanks for having us on, man. Love your show, Tank. We'll be active in your Discord. We'll try to follow along more of your streams. You're doing an excellent job and providing an excellent service. Excited to watch your channel grow.
I promise I would love to have you guys back on, and I promise the next time we're not going to have all these technical issues, and I'll be more smooth or whatnot. But I would love to have you guys back on as things develop. Again, thank you guys very much for coming on the stream, letting everybody know what you guys are working on. Guys, Hydro Finance, follow them, get in the know, be on the lookout for them. Thank you guys very much. We're going to get out of here, guys. Peace.
Have a good one.